talking the world to the men? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to Nerdy Girls After Dark, the podcast where women can get their fandom content, relationship advice, fashion tips, belly laughs, answers to dangerous questions, all in one nerdy place. I am 1/4 of your hosting party. I'm Sarah Lydia. This is Maya over here. Let me get us all in the right space. Maya, Jaylynn, and Mica. Mica is new to the show tonight. Mica, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Mica. I am Maya's twin sister, so I'm just, I guess.
Live from the comments. She materialized on the podcast.
Right, exactly. Went from comments to the podcast.
Yes.
So, yeah, I live in Columbus and just really excited to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah, maybe if we do a Bridgerton episode, because I feel like that's her biggest fandom right now.
It's a good one.
Absolutely. Yes. So Maya wants to hate on it all the time.
No Bridgerton hate over here. Alrighty, y'all. Well, we got a really exciting episode, but first, before we get into the main topic that is centered on like our favorite sceneries for films.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please?
Some attention moments that we want to share over the past week, things that really caught our attention. So, Jaylynn, I know you're very excited to talk about this one. Let's talk about Thor.
Yeah, so what caught my attention, I think caught a lot of ours attention, was we got a teaser trailer for Thor Love and Thunder. People were asking for this forever, it feels like. Anytime Marvel put anything out, whether it's a poster, a clip, anything, everyone was always like, well, where's the Thor trailer? Where's the Thor trailer? And then they surprised us on Tuesday with, here it is. Movie looks really good. I like that we got the Guardians in this trailer, and I can't wait to see Thor and the Guardians interact because that's some of my favorite moments. They have great comedic chemistry together, so I'm excited to see more of them.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And she scooped it. I think 2 seconds after it dropped, you put it in her chat.
Yeah, I got to be quick on it, you know.
Alrighty, Sarah.
Well, if Jaylynn is going to go with Boy Thor, I have to go with Lady Thor, or Jane Foster, also known as Mighty Thor. I mean, look at that. She's got the cape. She's got Mjolnir. It's oh my gosh, it's so perfect. The branding for this movie, I feel like, is so good. The posters, the fonts, even the t-shirts they have now. It's perfection. I love Taika Waititi. I don't know how much he's had to do with the marketing, but I'm sure he has, and it's just brilliant. I love it.
Absolutely. For sure. So that's going to be very exciting. Mica, I know you're eager.
Yes.
Yes.
I just had to do a quick Coachella recap because I felt like I was very much tuned into this content. So for one, first of all, as we know, tonight at midnight, Meg will be dropping her new song, new diss track that she performed for the first time at Coachella. Automatic banger. So like, oh my gosh, I think the girls are so ready for this. I think this is potentially going to be the song of the summer, especially the girls that are just fed up.
And Michael, you may want to Meg the Stallion, not to get confused with the shark. Sorry, that was a whole moment.
I'm really sorry. Go ahead. But yeah, so I think just in general, like Coachella, I think there's a lot of the conversation about it, like in terms of fashion, was like, people are trying to make like these red carpet moments, like in this festival attire, and they like historically like talked about like what the festival was, and honestly, like the older looks that people are alluding to, like they're super nostalgic of, I felt like they weren't really giving. Never really saw Coachella as like a fashion moment to be had, more so like other festivals like Afropunk. But anyway, I think all in all, some of the best dressed there, I feel like, are Ricky Thompson, Doja Cat, and I really like Kendall Jenner's outfit. I thought it was really, I mean, her hair was cute, so controversial take, but
Yeah, you see Brian's comment about throwing for a loop. Mica's voice is just a tad bit deeper than mine, so anyone like listening to the audio version, just keep that in mind. And I'm weak of Anthony's comments saying she can call him by the wrong name, still buy her coffee every morning.
I
She
agree with
definitely
that.
has that.
That's so sweet.
Oh my gosh, well that's great. And for y'all to know, don't know, Mica is very into fashion. She has and you should also follow her on TikTok. Mica, TikTok name, Instagram name.
yes, at Micah's Manifesto. Yeah, I love the fashion content. So styling videos, like the occasional rant that
She's hilarious, and that means a lot coming from me. So my attention, gosh, not that it took up the whole screen.
Oh, no.
I don't
That's
know if y'all
awesome.
watched The Masked Singer, but the fact that they just let anybody on the show nowadays.
Masked Singer's for anybody.
I don't even watch The Masked Singer, but when I saw the clip of this man popping out of this box and he was singing "Bad to the Bone," I was taken out of my element. I'm like, wow. And so Kim Jong, he's a judge. He walked off when the reveal happened. So I was very surprised they put that type of controversial guest, but obviously this is the type of reaction they want, have really shocking guests. So
What was he
it was
supposed to
like,
be?
you said, who was he? They're always like some weird creatures, like a hippo or like a rhinoceros. Like the costumes are always really crazy. So I don't know what the aesthetic is here.
It looks like
peacock.
a bird in a box.
Yeah, it looks like bird. It's giving clown. Clown makes sense, but
Yes.
I watched the clip right before. He was a chicken, so he had like a chicken head on.
But Bad to the Bone, I thought that was hilarious, but also like, oh my gosh, cringe if I was in the live audience.
He does look like Kevin from Up.
Oh my gosh, Brian.
Good call,
so
Brian.
true.
I think that's really going to drive next season's ratings, because it's like, okay, that precedent was set. Anybody could be on
Anybody. Right.
Yep.
Like, exactly. Oh my God, Tiffany. That is so true. And his veneers really keep me up at night. I'm so disturbed.
Oh God, I know.
Or when he sweats his hair off. I don't know. That's
so gross.
Gross.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So I think that concluded the things that got our attention for this week.
Do we want to give an etiquette corner real quick? And a cheers?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, cheers.
Or a pour your wine?
You got it, Sarah. You want to give the etiquette corner?
Yeah, just that this letting y'all know, those of you in the comments and listening to us live, this is a safe and inclusive space. And if you breach that boundary at all in the comments, we will come for you. What did Brian say? This was spoiled. That's okay.
I didn't realize that was spoiled. Okay.
But yeah, so just be respectful of one another in the comments, and just in general in life. That's a good rule of thumb. And let's get our wine poured and let's get the show on the road.
Yeah, I almost forgot to open up my bottle, so I do like this. Well, cheers, ladies.
Yeah.
Cheers. We need to get like a clink sound.
Yeah,
I know. We need the cling sound effect for sure.
Or just put that gif of Betty White and to clink the glasses.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do next time.
That's a good idea.
For sure. So, as most of you all know, tomorrow is Earth Day, and we're like, what would be the best way to kind of like talk about and celebrate the Earth, then mixing it in with some of our favorite films or some of our favorite sceneries from these films. So, we want to just talk about our top 5 favorite films or favorite film sceneries. So they don't have to be your favorite movie. I guess I should say that. But obviously films that we've all seen that we're just so captivated by the setting.
Mm-hmm. And throw some in the comments too.
Yes, please share yours. And so I know some of us are going in ranking order. Jaylynn, are you going in ranking order? Or are you going just by top 5 in general?
I mean, probably just top 5 in general.
Yeah, same.
I don't know I guess my number 1 isn't my favorite movie of all time, but it has its own category. So I'll save that one for last. It's my favorite documentary, I guess you could say. But I didn't really rank all of them in 5 through 1 or anything like that. I'll just say them.
Well, if you do have a ranking, you feel strongly about like where it's positioned, just let the people know. But I guess we'll just do round robin style.
Let's do it.
That means it's starting with me. Okay. So, I'm not going to do mine in any specific order as well. But the first one that I wanted to share is Wine Country.
Oh, yes.
Have y'all seen Wine Country on Netflix?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, perfect choice.
Absolutely love, and it was just like, you know, from our first episode, I'm just a sucker for sisterhood movies in general. So, and Mica got me to watch this. And so that paired with like this beautiful scenery, it was amazing. And Mike and I went to Wine Country last year and we're like, oh my gosh, we love it. So that's definitely my top 5.
Where did y'all go?
We went to Sonoma Valley.
Oh.
We had like a driver and they took us to Micah, 4 different wineries.
Yeah, and gosh, I'm honestly blanking on some of the names right now, but like we will definitely share comments.
No, that's cool. Sonoma
After
Valley.
the wine, we don't remember.
Well, no, that means you did it right.
Literally. Itinerary could be shared on Instagram if y'all follow us.
Yes. At Nerdy Girls After Dark. One of my best friends, Dirty 30, we went to Temecula in Southern California, and they had a party bus, and we went to I don't even remember how many, but it was gorgeous. I want to go back. I want to go to Napa too.
Yeah,
me too. That's on my bucket list.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Jaylynn.
We'll have to do a girls trip.
Right.
Yes.
And I hear that there's a music festival there called Battle Rock. So I hear that's like the perfect time to go. I think Meg Thee Stallion performed last year.
Yes, let's do it.
Let me come. Squeaky.
Alrighty.
We're dog friendly on here. It's okay if there's squeaky toys.
Yeah.
It's always the squeaky toy the moment you join a club.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But Sarah, what about you? What the first one you want to share?
The first one I want to share. Oh man. I guess are you at them or? I guess I'm gonna go Life of Pi first.
Amazing choice.
So beautiful. This scene in particular with the bioluminescence was so just jaw-dropping in the theater on a huge screen. Just stunning. And the rest of the movie is so pretty too. I think it's Madagascar. Is he in Madagascar with all the lemurs? Or whatever those were. But anyway, just really, really stunning. So that's on my list. Again, mine are not ranked at all. I could not pick one over another, but this is on my top 5 list.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely beautiful. The moment you told me,
right?
I'm like, how is this not on my list?
Right.
Amazing pick. And then we have some people in the comments, our friends from Canada saying come to Niagara for wine. So we got to put that on our bucket list too.
Yes, we'll make the trip up there.
Oh wait, Mica, Brian, he says, is there a dog
No!
present? This is Moses Jones.
Brian, hi, Samantha.
Cute.
This is your dog.
Little Boston Terrier.
Yes. Alrighty, Jaylynn. What is your pick?
I'm gonna go with I'll start with The Lion King,
Ooh, good one.
the animated one. I have not seen the live action one because I refuse to. So I'm gonna start with The Lion King. I mean, just look at that view. Like I want to be on Pride Rock just looking at those fields and then seeing all the trees and all the animals. Like, oh, it needs to be real so I could just go there and just sit there with Simba. That's what I want to do. But then when I was thinking about this, I wish I did another movie, but that's okay. There's another movie I should have put on my list when you were talking about Wine Country, but
Honorable mentions.
We'll save it for honorable mentions at the end because I have to include it.
I think Mike and I were just talking yesterday how we get so annoyed when people call lions like the king of the jungle. We're like, you mean the king of the savannah?
Right?
Isn't that what Lion King taught us? Is that they're not in the jungle? I think you know what happened.
The jungle, though.
Yeah, I was going to say George of the Jungle messed up people's frame of reference.
Right. He's a scoring partner.
George of the Jungle, another great movie. That also could be on this list for good sceneries.
Yes.
Definitely.
Well, great. That's amazing pick. Anime. I got an animated one on my list too, Jaylynn. So,
I mean, animated worlds are just so cool. So I always got to
do way more. Right.
Gully.
For sure.
So, Mica, what you got?
You tell me.
Whichever one you want to say.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna throw like a monkey wrench in this one. So I put Mad Max.
Oh, yes.
For a little bit of a different reason. I feel like, this is not a climate optimist like landscape at all. And it just kind of like these like post-apocalyptic, like I've seen watched a lot of like movies like this dystopian kind of like afterlife. But I feel like this setting really struck me because like it was especially that waterfall scene where it's like, wow, like in the I guess in the spirit of Earth Day, what the climate crisis can mean is like a centralization of resources to the people with the most power and creates like these evil Jeepers Creeper looking being. So, I don't know, this landscape was really made me focus on the people, and then it just like the colors and the whole thought of this world being built was just feeling very fantastic. And then it's like very much like you can tell that they use antique and old things to create the world that they live in, which I think is really fascinating too, to see that in like a non Wall-E corny way. I shouldn't say corny, animated way.
Listen, that's a great pick.
That's a great pick. Yeah. Was that Fury Road?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We should.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We love that movie.
Charlize.
Gosh, that movie made me love Like I've always been a fan, but that movie just like wow.
Yeah.
It was a force to be reckoned with for sure. So my next pick, and I don't know if we have any Nicholas Sparks fans. Oh crap! Of course, it's a crappy picture. Oh great. Well, I'll take this off because it was hurting my eyes. But if anyone's seen The Lucky One, it was Zac Efron and homegirl that I don't know her name, but it was based in Louisiana, and I think I recognize that I really love like Bayou, Louisiana type sceneries. Just in the Frog example, but there's a scene like he has his own tree house, and that tree house is absolutely gorgeous. And then there's a scene where he takes her on a boat, and I mean, just like the scenery, just the bayou, it's beautiful, it's amazing, and it's I'm top. Like the movie is so corny, and people can argue say it's not that good of a movie, but the scenery just is why I keep rewatching it so much. So Lucky One's definitely on my list, even though that picture was not that great.
I feel like that's the same thing with like Leap Year. Like I feel like plot's not the best, but the views are great.
Yes.
It's okay. Not every movie needs to be a 5-star movie to be able
Right.
to enjoy it.
That's
So
true.
I've been trying to tell Maya that.
Alrighty. Well, Sarah, what is next for you?
Piggybacking off of the not every movie needs to be a 5-star movie. I have The Horse Whisperer, 1990. Oh my gosh, 96, 97. But this movie, I love horses first and foremost. So this was obviously, I was going to love it anyway. But in Montana, I mean, Brian Lee, Wally is so
This
overrated
is
and
actually
boring.
disrespect.
That
Wow.
is so disrespectful. Wally is delightful. Eva. Anyway, Horse Whisperer is one of the greatest films of all time. Kristen Scott Thomas, Robert Redford, just a magical pairing. And then, of course, baby Scarlett Johansson. And then you put it against the backdrop of Montana's mountains and prairies, and it's just absolutely stunning. So that's mine, The Horse Whisperer.
I'm already obsessed with Escape. Have not seen it, but
It's a good one.
Nice.
Jaylynn.
Good animal film.
any
Jaylynn,
movie with
what
animals
do
is
you
also
have
good.
next?
Next, I'm going to go with Lord of the Rings, specifically the Two Towers. This is my favorite Lord of the Rings movie out of the three, which they're all really good. So, I mean, it's like 1A, 1B, 1C. They're basically all tied. But if I have to watch one over again, it's Two Towers. But this one, specifically the part where they are running, trying to catch up to the hobbits, and you just see the mountains and the rivers and the grass, like all of it just surrounding them. Like those shots are just so pretty. And New Zealand's on my bucket list because of these movies.
Yep.
Just like what Brian said. Like I need to go to New Zealand just to go on the Lord of the Rings tours because it's so pretty.
Yep.
And if New Zealand is where Middle Earth is at, I will go live there because I love Middle Earth.
Amen.
Amazing. Man, I guess we're all from the Midwest, I realize. Because, Sarah, you're actually born in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Midwest girls, just something about horses.
I know.
no, no.
I was looking at the picture. I'm like, oh, okay, nothing too.
We like horses.
Amazing. Mica, what do you got next?
Ratatouille.
Yay.
Nice.
As one of the annoying girls who studied abroad in France, I think that I love how they showed the city and like even the soundtrack. There's this the song called Le Festin, and I love that montage of when, gosh, I'm forgetting his name, when they fall in love, him and Cosette. But I don't know, the views are amazing.
Is it Remy?
Yeah, well, Remy's the rat.
Brian, sorry. At this pick. Come on, Brian.
Brian, there could be a whole episode for his hot takes, but
No.
you're sidelining him.
Yeah. But yeah, like this also when they're in the countryside and when they're in that older woman's house, like those kitchen scenes compared to like the beautiful views of like the first arrondissement in Paris is just like mwah, chef's kiss. And these views of the Seine when they're walking up the river, really cute. Very nostalgic moment.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Amazing.
So pretty.
Yeah.
Arrondissement.
I like that we get a mix
Awesome.
of sceneries, like some that are really like landscape focused, some more city focused. So
Right.
great. So it is back to me, and then Whew, this is tough. Well, I'm not ranking them, so I will go with the Lorax.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Good pick.
Good one.
I feel like you are not human if you did not want to touch a truffula tree. Like,
Yes.
absolutely adore this
True.
movie, and I think obviously, Mike, I'm very passionate about sustainability, and this is like an amazing way to kind of like this film just did an amazing job at talking about limited natural resources, what happens when you bring like a capitalist structure that just takes and pulls away all of our natural resources to the point where there wasn't any. So I love how they just made this movie so captivating and just really made you fall in love with the landscape. I think that was actually the point. And I just loved it. I love this movie so much. And I just wish that this was in real life so I can go visit.
I know.
Because, I mean, everyone just wants to just like rub their hand on a truffula tree.
Yep.
That's my take. All righty, Sarah.
That was a good one. Oh my gosh, what do I even? Okay, so I'll save that one for last. Candace loves the Lorax, and she means my kids love the Lorax. It's so pretty. It's such a pretty movie. I am going to go with, y'all are going to get so sick of me talking about this movie, but
Never.
I love the way that this film showcases the Earth, not just location wise, but in different stages of life. So you have Babylon, you have ancient Mesopotamia, you've got all of these different, the lost city of Tenochtitlan. You have all of these different phases of life for the Earth showcased in those spaces. And it's done so beautifully and so well. Oh my gosh, I love it. This movie is in my top 3 movies of all time for so many different reasons, but that is definitely one of them.
Oh my God,
It's
I love the
breathtaking.
Babylon scene.
I know. I almost forgot about that.
That is undeniable. I mean, Eternal, say what you want about the movie. I know it has a lot of different views and opinions, but the landscapes, all like just jaw-dropping, phenomenal. Ready, Jaylynn?
All right. Well, to kind of piggyback off of Sarah, mine is also an MCU movie. I am going with Shang-Chi. I mean, there's so many gorgeous scenes in this movie.
Is that a Pokemon?
It looks like a Pokemon. You got to catch them all. But with Shang-Chi, I fell in love with Ta Lo. I mean, just that opening fight scene of his parents, like that's gorgeous. With the trees moving and the flowers. And then once you actually get in to the city and you see all these majestic animals, doesn't matter, Brian, it's real in my life. It's just so pretty. And again, I want to be there, not just because that's where Morris lives, but just because it's so magical and it looks just very peaceful and calming. And I feel like if that's what the whole world looked like, everyone would just be happier.
Absolutely. And this was definitely, that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sarah.
I was just going to ask a silly question real quick, Jaylynn.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to choose between Morris and Lucky the pizza dog, which one would you choose?
Hot seat.
Probably Lucky, because
he's pretty
dogs
cute.
are like one of my first loves. And so I just got to go with dogs. But I do have a Morris plushie. So
That's nice.
it's both. It's like, every animal is basically tied. Everything is tied in my life. It's hard to pick favorites.
I think Brian has a favorite.
Morris.
Nobody said Morris. Like,
if you follow Lucky's Instagram, I mean, you might fall in love with Lucky.
It's true.
Yes, can definitely love. And this was on my list too. I remember when that scene that you were talking about, Jaylynn, came on. I'm like, I was just like, wow.
You're just mesmerized by
Mesmerized. And it was just like, I've seen a lot of those type of landscapes in like anime, but like seeing it in a more realistic way is just beautiful. Love Shang-Chi. Alrighty, Mica.
I was gonna say the Chronicles of Narnia, just because of the range.
Yes.
This is the picture. Just
I know. Because I was like kind of in a rush, so my bad. You can even see that screenshot from Google because it hates me. But yeah, like I think this movie has a lot of range. Like I just love the winter scenes are like very depressing, and you feel them. But then also, like I read that they like shot this in like Ireland and Hollywood Hills. They shot this movie everywhere, and I love like when the landscape changes too between the seasons. It's a beautiful moment.
We like fictional places here. It's okay.
Yes.
This is a safe space, Brian.
Yes.
Talking about a fictional place.
Yeah, and kind of fun fact with that, but don't fact check me because I don't know if it's actually true or not. But I read that when they filmed the scene where the little girl goes through the wardrobe the first time, like that's her reaction to seeing the set for the first time. Like they didn't show them like the set into Narnia, so like you got to experience it the first time.
Oh my gosh!
So I mean, like that's the perfect way to like do a big reveal like that, to not see it beforehand, so you get that genuine reaction.
Especially like a child.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I'm laughing at Anthony's comment here because the internet has been comparing Jack Harlow to Mr. Thomas. I don't know if y'all
Yes.
to Jack Harlow, and I think that's hilarious. But yeah, interesting.
If someone did not know who Jack Harlow was, me. I Jack Harlow.
I don't even know where to even begin.
He's like a Kentucky-based rapper or from Kentucky. Okay. What's this one really famous song that everybody kind of knows?
Oh, Just Poppin'. Brand new whip just hopped in.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is he like Mr. Thomas?
He has like the curly hair.
He has a diamond-shaped head. I think that was kind of cap, but
I agreed with it. So
the internet is crazy.
Awesome. So Mica, it is me now, and yes, Anthony, I agree. Mine is I could not find a good enough picture, so this is the best that I can do. And it is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Anyone knows me knows this is my second favorite film franchise. I feel like the reboot of Planet of the Apes is just absolutely phenomenal. And specifically, like kind of, obviously this is post-apocalyptic time period where basically apes kind of take over the world or take over the United States. And they just create this beautiful oasis and home kingdom. And I love this structure because they're actually steps. You see kind of how like the folks are like wrapping around the tree. Like that's like their staircase. And this is where Caesar and his family lives. And even the whole film feels like it's recorded in Amaro, that old Instagram filter. And it's like kind of gray. I think that just kind of how they incorporate what used to be real world, everyday US culture into now what is a little bit more abandoned, but making these like scenes that are really beautiful and these landscapes that are really beautiful really spoke a lot to me. So I definitely got to give Dawn of the Planet of the Apes a shout out.
That's a good choice.
Good choice. Like, especially it's such a functional design. Like, you know, it's like not human-centered design, but it's like we're very similar, but the design approach is just so different. And I love how they represented that through like.
Right. It's literally where apes meet. Well, humans are apes, but like, you know,
evolution.
But like seeing it all like stairs and mix it with the tree, like it really shows these very evolved apes and like you kind of see both kind of design elements. I do agree. This is Jack Harlow. This is a horrible picture, Brian.
Jack Harlow.
We have just been infiltrated by our
Yeah,
executive
Brian,
producer.
joining.
And now he's gone. He peaced out. Oh my gosh.
I am weak. Okay, but yeah, that's me. Sarah?
Yes, sure. Let me go with I'm gonna go with Return of the King, specifically the lighting of the beacons, because it is so majestically filmed. Just the scenery, like the New Zealand mountains, and the way that it transitions, and it goes from night into dawn, and it's just so beautiful. And what it means for the movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So
that is
a good choice.
Landscape.
Brian and Anthony are distracting the hell out of me. Can you tell?
That is a gorgeous landscape. I love, like, I don't think
beautiful.
we've seen mountains as much in our previous picks, so that was beautiful to see.
Yeah, Jaylynn and I are going to New Zealand.
Yeah, road trip. My husband's company has a office up there, and I keep saying, if you have to go, I'm coming with you.
I will hide in your suitcase. Yes.
Amazing. Jaylynn, what do you have next?
All right. So next, I'm going to go with Titanic, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Same.
I'm going to go with specifically the scene where the ship first sets sail. And you just get, just the whole picture of the ship and the water moving. And, it's the happy time before the sad times come. But the ship itself is just a gorgeous ship. And I've been fascinated with Titanic since I was a little girl, watching all the documentaries about it. I've watched the movie a million times. And every time that first scene of the ship in the water, it just gives me goosebumps each time, just because it's so pretty and heartbreaking at the same time, because what's coming. But just seeing the size of what that ship was in 1912 is just so amazing.
Samantha, also just good call out. Interstellar, that almost made my list. It's Alex Klein of Comics and Cinema, one of our sister podcasts. It is one of our favorite movies, so it almost made the list. But you'll see my number one. You're going to be like, oh, okay, I get it. Mm-hmm. Good call out.
That is a good one.
I actively watched the movie. I completely forget the opening scene from Titanic. So I think this would be a timely rewatch.
It's on Prime Video, I think right now is where you can stream it.
Oh, really?
Or you could come to my house. I also own it too. So you can road trip down to Nebraska.
Oh, that's great. I love seeing water and film.
Mm-hmm. And then, even you just see the dolphins jumping, which who knows? That probably didn't actually happen, but it could have. But just in the movie, it was just so fun and cute and happy until what else happens. But still, yeah. Still, it's still one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm. Mica.
I would say my next one is Into the Woods.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
I like how they make the woods like the most beautiful, enchanting, welcoming place in one moment, and can just make it the scariest, like creepy place in the next moment. So, the landscapes, I feel like it's very similar to like some of the other wooded landscapes that other people shared. It's just really beautiful, and then just chef's kiss. I'm trying to think of specific scenes, But honestly, I actually haven't seen this movie in like a year or two, so really good.
Meryl Streep is so friggin' good.
And the soundtrack is fire.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
So good.
Don't
Yep.
you know what's out there in the world?
Rest in peace, Stephen Sondheim.
Oh man.
Yes.
It was so great. And I'm noticing, Micah, there's a trend with yours. You like films where the scenery is the focal point. So whether it's scary or like enchanting or gorgeous, you just like where if the scenery just makes a presence, more of a presence. So, oh my gosh,
Brian with all the hot takes. Meryl
How do you
Streep
ban somebody
overrated.
from a stream? How do you ban an admin?
I can put him in timeout. It literally
I
says
gotta
put him in
figure out how
timeout.
to ban an admin because this is ridiculous. Wow. Okay. That's a great pick, Micah. So we're down to our last one. These
Number
are our last
ones, right?
Yeah, number one.
Well, for me, this would absolutely be my number one. And it is Ego's Planet from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Wow. Yeah.
When I say this film, like even though we obviously kind of like how you mentioned, Jaylynn, like things are not going to go well at the end. Every time I rewatch this, I always forget Ego's a bad guy because I'm like, wow, you created something so beautiful.
He must have been a tourist.
And this, right? I just love the landscape, and especially like the individual scenes where everyone is kind of interacting with the Guardians are interacting with the landscape, like when Star-Lord and Ego are like throwing that like ball, like that rainbow ball, and they're playing catch. Or no, that was the energy ball. But when I think Gamora was like messing around with like the water and stuff, it was very enchanting. Take Micah's word from how she described Into the Woods, and just love everything about the scene. Love it.
They always talk about
Was that your number one before we did our rewatch?
It probably was not. So we did a rewatch, and I took a Dota 8. Boing, boing.
There
hey,
it
it's
is.
421 now.
It was amazing. So yeah, I definitely think that added to it, Sarah. Just seeing it in that state of mind for sure.
I mean, it's still very stunning camera work, or
Right.
visual effects work.
Just want to say hi to Kristen.
Hey, Kristen. Or maybe Brian still. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, or is it? Yeah, it's probably Brian.
So my number one has been my number one since it released in theaters 11 years ago now. It's Tree of Life. That picture quality is terrible, but it is so stunning. It's a Terrence Malick film. Jessica Chastain, Brad Pitt, Sean Penn, and like a gaggle of super talented little kids. I don't know where he found them, but it's just a beautiful movie. And for the same reason that I love The Eternals, where it showcases different stages of life of the earth, that's kind of the same theme in Tree of Life. And Chloe, actually, who did The Eternals, Chloe cites Tree of Life as one of her inspirations for her film. So there's similarities, but for those same reasons, that's why I love Tree of Life. It's my number one.
Sarah's really getting me. I definitely haven't watched this now.
You have to. It's so good.
I feel like Sarah's theme is time.
Yes.
Yep.
Like representing different points of time.
Yes.
And those historical callbacks. Is it because she was a history major?
Probably in another life. Yes, I was. Well, theater. I mean.
Yeah,
You
were
know,
you a history
Shakespeare.
major? Where are you getting that from, Micah?
Maybe. I'm sorry. That was so
She was trying out her
I think you-
psychic ability.
You made it up.
Yeah, totally did.
Yeah.
I do look like a history professor, though.
Oh, gosh. All right, Jaylynn, what is your top pick or
Yeah,
next
so
pick?
my number one, I'm sure once I say it will be a big surprise to everyone listening. But my number one is March of the Penguins. Shocker.
Nice.
Not
Powerful.
only is this movie amazing because of the penguins, but just all of the views you get of Antarctica. You get a view like this of just the giant glaciers. You get sunset pics. You get water views. You get, winter storm views. It's just everything is all in this movie. And even though I know Antarctica will be 1 billion degrees under zero, I still want to go there and sit with the penguins. And just seeing what they go through just to find their soulmate is just so
Yes.
sweet. The journey they go on.
And their eggs.
And yes, it's just amazing what these animals can do and what they have to go through that hike just to get to their nesting ground. And like I said, they just live in an amazing place. And we need to protect the earth so that they can keep living there, because I don't want it to melt and go away.
Yeah, that's oh my gosh, that is such a great pick.
Good tie-in. That was great.
Are Boston Terriers just dog versions of Emperor Penguins?
They kind of are. They kind of are. They have the same coloring as them.
Right.
I was like, oh, is that Boston?
Okay, Brian is just trolling at this point.
I'm not even going to acknowledge that because that's rude.
Well, he said underrated this time though, so I guess that means he likes
It is
it.
underrated. I guess I'm
Gotcha.
too upset about all the other comments.
My pick is, I'm surprised no one else picked it, but Avatar.
Yeah.
Talk about the world of worlds. Like, I remember first seeing this movie, there was so much hype. I knew that it was like being created for 20 years. And then I think it just, this beautiful oasis that you just grow like, I mean, we've all kind of grew up in like the Midwest where, lots of highways, lacking sense of space, like
Cornfields.
yeah, cornfields, and like this landscape is just like everything that we don't see, and just it's the connection of life, which is really the theme that you can just see it in everything, like everything that's glowing. It's like physical connection. The visuals are insane, and I feel like it definitely set the tone for other like New World movies to follow. One of my all-time favorites.
That's great. This picture is giving Wakanda, like, or
Yeah.
the ancestral plane.
Yeah.
The scene where those little floaty things, it reminds me of the Groot in Guardians 1.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, it's a great
that is
call
pretty.
out. And I love that scene when they like interconnect their like with their hair. Like everything about that movie is so good.
Especially like you felt like when they started destroying this, like you were already an hour and a half and you like fell in love with this place, and then they started to destroy it, and it just like I feel like everyone was like, by any means necessary, let's get rid of these people, these humans. But
At least we get like 4 more movies of this planet.
Yes.
If they get made. I don't know. He's making like 4 of them.
I mean,
so he says. I mean, who knows?
It's taking this long to make 2.
And that's great because, oh my gosh, just I'm thinking about where the technology is now in terms of filmmaking, because this movie obviously was ahead of its time in so many ways. So it's like, what is the next frontier for Avatar?
Yeah.
It gives me goosebumps just thinking about that. Right.
Especially the 3D. The 3D glasses were so pretty.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, y'all, everyone in the comments, Feel free to add any ones that maybe some of the ones we mentioned were on your list. Maybe some of them weren't. Feel free to comment those. But it is now time for
I don't know who Al Gore is, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask.
our question segment where we're talking about. At this point, I'm too afraid to ask questions. Again, y'all should keep adding them to the doc. We're going to be doing like a Q&A episode next week, correct?
Ooh.
Sometime.
I think so. Yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
I think it's next week. So going to be answering all you can submit them anonymously, but questions that you want us to answer. So it looks like the first question that we have is, why do girls go into the bathroom together?
So many reasons.
Right.
I mean, have they seen Harry Potter? Hermione gets attacked by a troll in the bathroom. There's reason number one. That way you have someone to help fight the trolls.
Literally growing up with obviously a twin sister, I think it's always just like
Debrief.
Yeah, debrief. Okay, let's go to the bathroom. Let's talk. Like, okay, let's align ourselves. But also, too, it's just like, you bring lipstick, lip gloss, mascara into the mix. Like, sometimes you just want to freshen up. You get that second opinion. Like, and we also, like, just imagine if you had a jumpsuit and you go into the bathroom. Who's going to zip that up for you?
Right?
Right.
So it's so many different factors: fashion, makeup, debrief, like all that can go into it.
And sometimes you don't, especially if you're at like a party, you don't want to like be alone and like navigate the party by yourself. It just easy.
Right, because that walk from the bathroom to where your friends are could be very long and confusing, especially if you're drunk.
Right.
And any unwanted company,
Exactly.
your wing woman can just push them away.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep. Or if it's that time of the month showed up unexpectedly.
Supplies.
Supplies. Someone's going to have something in their bag for you to use. So.
Yes. It's a great point.
Sure.
Should I ask the next one?
Go ahead.
So this one, I'm just gonna say it. What is a weave?
That is a great question.
I did not submit this, but it is a great question.
That is a great question because I think a lot of people are afraid to ask.
Yeah.
But I feel like, honestly, Mica, let me know if you think differently. I think weave is more like Black vernacular for extensions. So extensions are the same thing as weave. They're the same exact thing. Extensions that Ariana Grande wears and that luscious ponytail is the same weave that Beyonce can wear. It's all like the same thing. And it's just making your hair longer in any way. So like my braids, I guess you can consider it weave because they're adding like synthetic hair to it.
But people wouldn't say that braids are weave. That was the only nuance that I was gonna add.
I agree with that.
Like people usually it's like extensions are like wigs, sew-ins, like clipping, any additional hair. But braiding hair is like people just it's a little bit different. You would just say, oh, she has braids. What Maya has, or box braids is like the braids, like the individual braids you often see. So sometimes people are like, oh, is that a weave and it's braids? It's just like,
I mean, technically, but yeah, usually when it's like wearing it straight or wearing it curly, like when you just give your own hair more volume and more length, it's typically a weave.
So, okay, can I ask a clarifying question?
Mm-hmm.
So a wig could also interchangeably be referred to as a weave, or
yes,
because it's an extension of hair.
Yes, your
hair extensions.
So, and I think we like under Mica's definition, if we take braids out of it, a weave can be a wig or any sew-in
or added hair.
Yeah, added hair. Added hair of any kind. A ponytail that I was just wearing, like our first episode. That was literally came into like a bag and I wrapped it around my hair. So, that's great because I think a lot of the times people there's so much nuance when it comes to black hair. So I'm happy that someone asked that so we can clarify it, because I think the biggest takeaway is, okay, you know the definition of weave, but don't ask, is that a weave?
Yeah,
the etiquette around weaves is
never
just as
comment on,
important.
like, unless you're giving a compliment, then that's it. Like, I would say
You can just say compliment on your hair, because at the end of the day, if you bought it, it's your hair.
Yeah, I know, but I just feel like just err on the cautious side of not commenting. I feel like on a black woman's hair, because it's always a little just with like so much stigma, policy, opinions around it. It's just always, I would say people react differently. So that's always like the safest option.
I feel like saying weave in a conversation about someone else's hair shouldn't be used.
I honestly don't even know if I've ever heard of, like, I would personally just not like the one person say the word weave. I know.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like Maya said, it's like African American vernacular for extension. So it just feels like it just feels like a little weird.
Yeah, you can just say extension.
I'm taken aback for sure.
If we learned anything from the Oscars, is people are very sensitive about their hair. So, you know, hearing a level of caution of just, you know, not
stay away from that topic.
like,
You don't want to
saying,
get
oh,
slapped.
your weave
Yeah,
is
that's
good.
right.
Don't say it. Don't say it. So, yeah, that's a great question.
That's good input. Okay. Fair enough. Thanks, guys. Gals. I was also told to ask Mica this specifically. Am I too old for TikTok?
Hold on. How old and wait, gender?
So
It
for
was
me,
just an anonymous question.
it's an anonymous question, but I'm in my 30s and I'm a white woman. What do I?
Definitely not. I feel like the only people who shouldn't be on TikTok are men that are
Of a certain age.
I feel like everybody can be on TikTok.
I don't know. Okay, anyone can be on TikTok. However, I don't think, as someone who works in trust and safety, their age signal is terrible. Like the fact
For who?
that
Finish the demographic description, Mica.
the demographic who I don't think should be on TikTok.
Yes.
I think it's men over the age of 30.
Okay.
Honestly, okay, I take that back, because I feel like, okay, I'll caveat this with say where I think the algorithm is now, I don't think this is a safe place for any adults to be exchanging with people that are under 16 years old, 17 years old, honestly under 18 years old. And the age signal is so terrible on TikTok. So it's a place where people that are older, it's a very, very much a place where predatory, like, could incubate predatory behavior.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say like whatever your intentions are, like there's a lot people of all ages and the different types of content curated for them. But so in terms of making content, I wouldn't say there's an age limit, but I do say that I would caveat that, and I guess scale back my comment and say, I think there should be better age enforcement on the platform of who can interact on the platform better. So that's my
For, like browsing and commenting and all that. Okay.
Commenting.
That makes sense.
100% disagree with that comment, and I want this to go on record because I feel like there's a space for everybody on TikTok. There's old men that is going to show me how to grill. There's a guy that I follow, and his whole thing is like showing me how to grill, and I'm like, I love that content. There's so many people, like I feel like there's always a space and expertise that people can display. Obviously, yeah, like if you're a predator, you shouldn't be on the platform. And again, TikTok has a long way to go, like you said about their signal and how they're, how people interface with their content. But I feel like there's a space for everybody. And that's why I feel comfortable kind of just like posting more on TikTok. I was surprised, Mike. I didn't think you were going to say that. I thought you were going to say everybody.
I know, like I say, hey, I literally work in trust and safety, so that all we talk about is like all the lawsuits, everything, that they're facing. It's just crazy. So again, that was my hat on for that answer. But
yeah, and I just feel like I look at it more so like interest groups too.
Right.
There's always your community on TikTok. That's what I appreciate.
Yeah, that's
So-
totally fair.
So I feel like you can find anybody. So for anyone who's like wondering that, I personally think anyone can be on TikTok. I'm trying to get my mom to be on TikTok right now. Like she's older, but she has all this like real estate knowledge. I don't know.
My dad is on TikTok, and I do not know how I feel about it. It's whatever, but that's good to get the two viewpoints there, and both are good to think about. Both are good to think
Absolutely.
about. But that's it. I'm out of questions. I don't know if there are more. Maya, were there more?
No, I think those were just it. Jaylynn, do you have any thoughts on that TikTok?
I mean, I barely know how to work Instagram, so to figure out how to work TikTok, like I would have
feel
to
like
do.
It's easier to just consume the content, let your algorithm learn what your likes and dislikes, and then you get all that content. Like I train my algorithm where I get Marvel content, Wattpad recommendations,
Right.
some fashion content. So it's
Maya.
like, huh?
I say, yeah, your algorithm definitely knows you.
Yeah, so I feel like I always tell that to people. They're like, "Oh, TikTok, they don't have a good experience," or I think it's really important to allow your algorithm to learn who you are.
Mhm.
Because once you start seeing the content that you enjoy, that you laugh at, that you like, you save, then you feel a little bit more empowered in creating that content because you kind of find your tribe.
Absolutely. I will say that for sure. It's like, I think, and I feel like there's a whole change in tides of social media. Like the girlies that did really well on Instagram and like the whole Insta model, take good pictures, build following that way by like selling a lifestyle are really struggling on TikTok, where it's people with personality, skill, insight.
Humor, right? Like
Exactly.
everyday people.
You can't just really, I mean, there's some people that do the bare minimum and have grown followings, but for the most part, you really have to build an audience by really understanding like your community and who you make content for, and people that want to like watch your content. So
Yeah, so Jaylynn, you talking about Instagram, TikTok is a whole new experience. It's
Right.
unlike anything else.
I have downloaded it, but then I deleted it because I just got impatient.
I got
I'm like,
overwhelmed.
it's know me off the bat. Like, I don't want to put in all this work,
Yeah.
but I'm sure I'll re-download it again at some point. And I mean,
And
my
that's-
husband's constantly watching TikTok cooking videos and stuff, and I'm like, how do you even find that? Like, I can't find anything. TikTok hates me.
Right. It is I would say hard to find things on TikTok, but I mean, there's hashtagging systems very similar, but it's to the point where you kind of just have to commit to your algorithm, like knowing you.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure I'll at some point I'll re-download it and get
Mhm.
there, and then start sharing funny videos with everyone.
So
I think everybody in the Nerd Emporium would do great on TikTok.
absolutely. Yes, I totally agree with that.
I did want to ask real quick before we wrap up. I wanted to hear a little bit from Maya and Mica about why Earth Day is so important to y'all and the slow fashion industry
Yeah, I think
and
so.
my fashion specifically.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, Micah and I are the co-founders of Mive. It's a made-to-measure fashion marketplace focused on ethical and sustainable fashion, and just really passionate about creating clothes that serves our future world, whether it be our ecology or also just like our communities, and making sure that anyone who's creating your clothes is not being oppressed while doing so. But I think for Earth Day, for me specifically, it's just kind of like taking a moment to recognize that we are part of like a larger ecosystem. It's so easy for us to, live in our own worlds, and we don't really realize how we are taking up space and affecting our own communities. And I think it's really easy in like a capitalist society where, profits are at the center of everything. We're mining resources, at a very alarming rate, and to the point of profits with other stakeholders, our earth, people, everyone are not really being consulted or even cared about. So, I mean, obviously we run our business, but for us, we're promoting people not to consume for Earth Day because there's so much that exists already in our grasp. Like you don't have to. A lot of these companies are like Earth Day, buy our like biodegradable shoes or something like that, and those products are really great and needed. But at the end of the day, like I think Center of Sustainability is doing the most with resources that are already existing. So this is my little tangent, Mike. Anything that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I would say like Earth, like you mentioned a lot of things I was gonna say, Maya, but I would just say generally like what I love the most about Earth Day is the opportunity just to call like corporations out because they're having their little Earth Month, Earth Day performative moment. And, it's a very timely like it's just a good time to really call them out because typically they're putting out claims, pledges, no real action. So it's really good to be able to like when people have a focus on it and want to like build an awareness about these issues because of the holiday, it's a good time to meet them. But I would say that we did like a Lego drive today to kind of support like a local product that we're producing. But I think our biggest message is like people think like sustainability is like tech and like research and like everything like what does the future look like, reimagine futures, but we already know what like the most sustainable like economies look like. We already know what a circular economy looks like. It's like indigenous and tribal knowledge. It's just the things that we're trying to reinstate that were erased because of the colonization of this country, this land. So I think that it's just a good time to continue to reach people that aren't as, because I think that you have to be really privileged to care about the environment, right? Some people are immediately, thinking about their safety, if they're going to make it, being fed, providing for their families. So I think this is a really good time to like use your privilege with your education, your resources, and really get more people to, put more pressure on these companies and governments to take policy action.
Yeah, that's huge. We deal with that a lot during Pride Month too. Performative.
There's rainbow washing, greenwashing, woke washing of all sorts
Right.
that corporations love to do, again, as a performance. But and I think crap, I had a thought and I completely lost me. Just lost it again.
Would you agree, like, because I know that you I'm sure you experience this, like I feel like there's like two demographics of people, right? Like when it comes to pride, it's like the corporate pride folks, and it's like, oh, pride programming and fun, like t-shirts. And then there's like people like, no, like how are we
justice
community and how what does justice look like? And I think it's the same thing. It's like the corporate sustainability, like let's do
save the dolphins.
Like exactly. And then it's like, okay, well, we know that the climate crisis is affecting the most vulnerable people, and like actually understand the issue. So it just like it's very same personas, just different issues, but it's really frustrating to navigate in these holidays.
Holidays. Oh my gosh.
So I mean, I guess if we could offer any sort of call to action, is just like if there's one thing that you could think that will like lessen your consumption or like your output, like it could be. I mean, and obviously I say this because a lot of the changes policy, like our government needs.
That's the biggest thing. Put pressure.
That's the biggest thing.
But
in terms of kind of just like driving an awareness around how you as a human being are affecting your the world around you, like it could be mending your clothes rather, if you get a hole in your shirt, get a sewing kit and sew that shit up, and then so you don't have to buy a new one. There's a lot of small things. Again, what we really need is policy, but you can adopt some of those more practices that our grandparents have been doing for decades, and their parents, to help kind of like understand like how do we make things more long lasting, so not everything is so temporary and disposable. So that is our little rant about Earth Day.
I love it.
But
Yes. Thank you for indulging my question.
Yes, very informative.
So I think that's like a great way. I hope everyone enjoys their Earth Day. I would definitely encourage people to kind of look at some of those organizations that championing that justice that we talked about, that they could either like donate to or where they can learn more from.
And vote in November. It's an election year.
And then our local elections are happening right now, like in the middle of it. So just kind of like knowing, those dates so you can have your voice heard on these topics. And we look at like all these old people in Congress. We're gonna be
Get them out.
So like, having more of like a future perspective too is like just really important as well. But I think this is great. I love being able to talk about the things that, it's interesting that a lot of the places we talk about are fictional, like a world where this happens that, we don't currently see. And I think, those worlds, obviously it can't be Ego's planet, but like a better, more vibrant Earth is possible than what we see today, and with a lot of eco-anxiety that we all face about doom gloom around the environment. So I think that's something to keep in mind on Earth Day, is that a new future is possible, and we just got to work towards it and fight for it. So those are my parting words as we go into Earth Day.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Clink, clink, clink.